And we welcome you back to PNC Park, and both clubs honoring the Negro Leagues. The Pirates will be wearing the uniforms of the Homestead Grays, while the Cardinals will be wearing the uniforms of the old St. Louis Stars. And of course, here at Highmark Legacy Square at PNC Park, honoring the Negro League players, Smokey Joe Williams, Buck Leonard, to name a couple. And the Pirates and their fans are all in and packed in to PNC Park for Game 2 of this 3-game series, anticipating 3 straight days of sellout crowds.
Still streaming across Clemente Bridge, and they're going to be filling up all these seats. It'll be a fun night.
Magical mystery tour that is 2011 continues. Ball 1 on Skip Schumacher, starting at second base against Kevin Correa, tied for 3rd in the league with 11 wins. Shot to first, and that is Brandon Wood over there. A different look to the lineup and the infield. Brandon Wood's first start at first base for the Pirates. Here's the Cardinals lineup. Schumacher, John Jay will come to the plate. Then it's Pujols and Matt Holliday. Lance Berkman bats 5th. David Freese, the 3rd baseman, hits 6th. Yadier Molina will be followed by Daniel Descalso at short and Jaime Garcia on the hill.
They're working against Kevin Correa, 11-7, 4.04 ERA, 21st start. A brilliant start against the St. Louis Cardinals, his 2nd start of the year, when he went 7 shutout innings and picking up a win, his 2nd win as a Pirate.
The 2 count on John Jay was 1 for 5 last night. Getting another start. So he has taken playing time away from Colby Rasmus. 0-2 count. Missed.
I was in the room with Tony La Russa when he was asked about the center field situation for the Cardinals, and he said simply that John Jay has a hotter bat right now. He has no theme to ignoring Rasmus, but right now he's going with Jay, and Rasmus will get his playing time.
John Jay 7 for 19 on this road trip. A 9-game trip that took them into Cincinnati and New York.
That'll get you some playing time.
2-2. Bounce back to Correa, and we don't have to tell you how important it is to retire the first 2 men. They're facing the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's the Pirates defensively. Brandon Wood, Chase Darno on the corners. Cedeno and Walker up the middle. Diaz in left, McCutchen in center. Steve Pearce in right, and Michael McHenry, the catcher. Steve Pearce returns off the disabled list yesterday and was originally in the lineup at first base, but Clint Hurdle had to move things around because Alex Presley has a left thumb bruise.
Wow, this is a lineup and defensive alignment, batting order that has really been shook up.
Strike 1 on Albert Pujols. 22 home runs now in the year, tied for 3rd most in the league. 59 RBIs. Back with a returning from the broken wrist sooner than most expected.
Yeah, that can't even keep him down.
High chopper. Shortstop Cedeno. A little snow cone and on to first. Well done. 1, 2, 3 go the Redbirds, or in this case the Stars, and the Grays will come to the plate. Suffered in last night's game, and we understand that it's nothing serious. Meanwhile, look at this. Jose Tabata.
I thought he was in Bradenton.
I thought so too. Jose Tabata.
There's a headline right there. We had no idea.
He's on the disabled list, but he's back in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Don't know why. We know he was scratched from the Bradenton Marauders lineup for a couple of games because he re-injured his quad, but why he's back here is a mystery.
Interesting.
Chase Darno. Pop up. And out of, now we can speculate because we saw Ross Ollendorf, of course, in the dugout last night, but Ollendorf is going to Altoona. He left today to make a start for the Curve tomorrow. maybe this means that Tabata begins a
rehab
at Altoona.
No, rehab here in Pittsburgh.
No, it could be too. I don't know. I don't know why he's here. Chase Darno leading off. First time he's led off in the big leagues. Bounces this ball foul.
Yeah, and I don't think we want to read too much into this. He's leading off this inning. He may not lead off the rest of the game. So don't fall into the trap, Chase, of thinking you have to be different because your name is at the top of the batting order.
And I'd be surprised if he is. There is a man who led off a lot. Hey, look, he looks happy. Give us some info here, Jose. Bounced. Shortstop backhands and throws and will not get Darno. It's a leadoff hit. Good speed, of course, at the top of the order, even without Presley. Put the ball on the ground, you got a chance.
Right. Don't change a thing. Don't fall into the trap. Hit the ball on the ground and see if you can beat it out. And he did. Scalzo had to go deep in the hole. He did everything he could, tried for that one bounce throw, and wasn't in time.
That's a man digging for a hit right there.
Yeah. A for effort.
Good camera work. Chase Darno.
What do you want from your players? Preparation and effort. Preparation and effort.
Clint Hurdle a couple of weeks ago said, as Cedeno shows bunt, that unsolicited other teams have come up, individuals, managers, members of the organization have come up to him and said, you guys you busted down the line better than any team in baseball. And that's the truth. These guys do bust it down that first base line.
And you just love that, because if you're sitting in there, you bought a ticket, you deserve that kind of effort 4 times a night. You're in the best condition you could possibly be in. 4 times a night, you can do that. And unfortunately, it shouldn't be a headline, but it is.
Right. Toyota lineup. Darno the hit, Cedeno at the plate, then it's Neil Walker and Andrew McCutchen. Steve Pearce hits 5th, Matt Diaz in left, Brandon Wood, Michael McHenry, Kevin Correa. Toyota moving forward with that Pirates lineup. Cedeno fouled off a bunt try. He has an 11-game hitting streak. He returned off the disabled list yesterday. Facing a very tough pitcher in Jaime Garcia.
Yeah, terrific curveball. He keeps the ball down. He gets a lot of double plays. His control is very good. 20 starts, 32 walks. That's excellent control out of Reynosa, Mexico. 25-year-old, 6'2", 215-pound Jaime Garcia. Young career. He's already 23-13. Impressive.
Fly ball to shallow right near the line, and the catch is made. A lumbering Lance Berkman over to make the play. Cedeno's retired in the first out here in the first inning.
Overall numbers for Garcia. He already has 2 shutouts. One his first start of the year against San Diego. Another one against the Milwaukee Brewers. 9-4. You see the overall numbers.
Steve, if he hadn't given up 11 runs in 3 1/3 innings on May the 28th against the Rockies, his ERA would be the 2nd best in the league. There's Chris Carpenter, who won again against the Pirates last night. He's 12-2 lifetime against the Bucks. And you know who he would be behind in the ERA race?
Jeff Karstens.
Jeff Karstens right now leads the National League in earned run average. Now, that can change. Ryan Vogelsong will pitch tonight, and he'll qualify once again unless he gets knocked out real early.
And, is that the feel-good story in the National League?
Runner goes, and didn't even have to throw it, but Molina went ahead and did, and it's a stolen base for Darno, and he is 7 for 7 in the stolen base department.
Very good break. Not easy to do against a lot of left-handers, but no chance for Molina, who is one of the best.
AGH cam. Shot of Darno, swiping his 7th bag in 7 attempts. We've talked about his fearlessness on the base paths.
Neil Walker. Neil, don't hit the ball to Albert Pujols tonight. He smoked 2 balls at Albert,
and one right at the shortstop too.
Right.
He had 3 line drives. He hit the ball as hard as anybody for the Pirates last night. The Bucks had 11 hits.
I talked to Chris Carpenter about that. He said Neil Walker is a player, and that's pretty good praise for somebody that's been around a long time and is a very good pitcher.
12-2 now lifetime against the Pirates in 17 starts. 2-1 the count on Walker.
I asked him, I said, "You're a little feisty for an old timer."
What was that all about?
And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I thought I was getting squeezed a little bit, and then I got excited in the heat of the ball game." Didn't apologize for it, but
yeah. Las Diaz was hearing it really from both sides. He's now the third base umpire tonight. 2-1 count as the Pirates try to strike first. And a fly ball to center. Shallow.
Short center.
Shortstop out and makes a fine catch to Scalzo. Brings up McCutchen. Another look.
And the shortstop going out, and I don't think Jay's going to make that play. Scalzo saves 90 feet, but Darno couldn't go anywhere until he was going to find out the results of that little pop-up.
So Andrew McCutchen now, and Molina will go out and talk with Jaime Garcia. McCutchen hitting .282, was 2 for 4 in last night's game.
And do you think this discussion might involve a little bit of the subject? Do you want to pitch to McCutchen, or maybe be real careful and try your luck against Steve Pearce? Or on the other hand, it might just be a discussion of exactly how they want to approach McCutchen and not even bring Pearce's name up, who's in the on-deck circle.
McCutchen hitting .315 against lefties this season.
Point being, you can try to throw your kind of pitch after pitch after pitch during this at bat, and if you lose them, no big deal.
Ball one. McCutchen 7 for 15 this season against the Cardinals. It's the 5th game between these two clubs. Infield hit for Darno. Stole second. And a strike. 1-1 on McCutchen.
You know, that is an interesting thing. Just the 5th game. We've been talking about Brewers, Cardinals. I mean, the names of these teams have been all over the place with the Pirates playing well, but yet only the 5th game against St. Louis. We've been talking about them enough. You would think it was the 13th or 14th game.
A lot of baseball yet to be played between these two teams. 1-1 pitch, and now 1-2 on McCutchen. 59 RBIs on the year.
Good breaking ball. It's out in front.
Tony La Russa's Cardinals. Record now of 52-47. Struck him out looking. Jaime Garcia gives up the infield hit. Leaves a man at second base. 0-0 after 1. Big Reds victory over the Atlanta Braves. They'll conclude that series tomorrow. The Braves will host the Pirates Monday to begin a 4-game series at Turner Field. Meanwhile, the Milwaukee Brewers tonight will be in San Francisco. We mentioned that Ryan Vogelsong will start for the Giants against Randy Wolf of the Brew Crew. Pirates trying to take care of business here. Matt Holliday against Kevin Correa. Line to right. Matt Holliday will head to second base. And he's there with a double. Came in tied for 5th with his .312 batting average.
See, he was left off the party last night. You see the strike zone by Range Resources. Pitch out away. He goes out away with it. I think he was 0 for 5 last night.
0 for his last 10. So he singles to right field, or doubles to right field to start the second, and now it's Lance Berkman. Cardinals' .268 team batting average is the highest in the National League. Berkman having a bounce back season.
A lot of people wondered if he had enough left in the tank after last year going from Houston to the Yankees. Not doing all that much, but he has found a home in St. Louis for sure.
Again, in talking with Clint Hurdle yesterday about this organization and how good they are, Steve, in their scouting and player development, their coaching, their managing. Just another example here. Lance Berkman, many thought he was finished. Not the Cardinals.
This is quite a trio, Pujols, Holliday, and Berkman. And I asked Tony La Russa in my interview with him that's going to be heard on the radio tomorrow about this trio. And he said they should be strong. I asked him about playing them every day. They've all been around a while. He said, you know what, they haven't played all that much together this year. Pujols was hurt. I think Holliday missed a little time. Berkman's been around, but he said they certainly watch that.
3-1. So talking to the Cardinals people about the personality of Lance Berkman and what a great addition that has been to the clubhouse, because Tony La Russa's got a good sense of humor, but he's a pretty serious guy once he's in that manager's office. And Berkman has really added again a nice personality, and it's been a great addition to their clubhouse, let alone their lineup. Follow the Pirates with the MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit Pirates.com for details.
Well, the perfect balance you'd like to have in your perfect ball player would be a guy who is serious about his craft, but never loses track of the fact it is fun. It's a baseball game. And when you can balance that and have a little feel for both sides of that whole scenario, it helps you get through a season, a long season. You have a little perspective, and it helps you not take yourself too seriously, but yet be serious about your job. It might be a thin line to walk at times, but it's a good mix.
But as always, you have to have the numbers too, right?
Well, you got to produce.
Yeah.
Nothing's fun if you don't produce.
That's right. So you're talking about a guy like Berkman, lighthearted personality in that clubhouse, and of course when he gets between the lines, he's having fun, you can tell, but he's serious about his craft. It's all well and good, but he's batting 200 with a homer and 5 RBIs. Nobody's laughing.
No, exactly right.
1-0 count on David Freese, and now it's 2-0. 2 on, nobody out. That's Kevin Correa. He's fallen behind David Freese. Correa was talking about how toward the end of the first half of the season, he was talking about him going to the All-Star game, the Pirates trying for first place, and he thought that maybe that caused him to press a little bit. Fly ball hit well to right center. McCutchen over, and it's the right fielder Pierce who makes the catch.
A lot of traffic out there, and Steve Pierce comes back off the DL and makes a fine catch, and that ball had all kind of carry on it.
Give you a real good look.
He didn't quit on it. I don't know if Andrew gets to that ball, but Pierce does, and they come away with the baseball. How good a look does AGH camera
isn't that
give you?
great? Spectacular shots. So it's first and third with 1 out. The batter Molina, who has hit into a bunch of double plays, 14. That's tied for second in the league behind his teammate Albert Pujols, who's hit into 22.
Last night we had a similar type of a play over by the scoreboard where Garrett Jones went up and had a chance to make a spectacular play. It didn't happen.
But very similar, Steve, too, because there was more room between the player and the wall.
Yep.
Just like that. Pierce had a little bit more room, you saw. Made a nice catch. Garrett Jones not playing against the lefty Garcia. Strike 2. Yadier Molina, 3 hits last night, including his 6th home run of the year.
Range Resources strike zone right there. And Wally Bell rings it up.
I caught it. Looking for a ground ball from Molina. Liner, center field, 1-0 St. Louis on an 0-2 pitch.
You talk about how much Albert Pujols tortures the Pirates. Yadier Molina tortures the Pirates. Tortures
done his share of hitting clutch situations against Pittsburgh.
Not nearly far enough in. If you want to go in, you got to go way in when you're in front 0-2. Not that Kevin wasn't trying to do that.
Molina, .330 career hitter against the Pirates. Well, it's 1-0 St. Louis, and it's Daniel Descalso, the shortstop. Descalso hitting .261 and takes ball one.
Last time out for Kevin Correa in Houston. He was in line to pick up a win, but just went 6 innings. And it got away from the bullpen. Comes up as a blown save. Now, but keep heart, folks, because Kevin Correa has averaged almost 6 runs of support when he's out on the mound for the Pirates in his starts. Don't say that to some of the other Pirate pitchers. They have not gotten that much. So follows in form. Bucks should be able to get him some points.
On deck batter, the pitcher Garcia. 1-1 count, 1 out, a run in. A ball and 2 strikes. Mulholland gave up those runs, Steve, early, but he gave them 6 innings. He battled,
as he always does. Yep.
2 two-run homers, Pujols and David Freese. 2-2 on Descalso. Trailing only Mike Leake, Ivani Gallardo, and Jaime Garcia.
Where have we heard that name tonight?
2 pitchers that get a bunch of runs. Line toward left, and it is a foul ball.
Not by much.
Descalso making his 5th start at shortstop this season. Full count.
You know, again, in talking to Tony La Russa about his ball club this year, he said to me tonight that he feels this ball club he has this year has shown as much character as just about any ball club that he has managed. Consider first half of the season, like 14 or 15 people on the disabled list. Just beat up, and they're hanging in there.
Line to right field, a base hit, and the runners were off on the 3-2 pitch, and it's 1st and 3rd, a 2-0 lead for St. Louis. Berkman scores, Molina to 3rd. Descalso's 26th RBI. Here comes Ray Searage. Well, the 2nd inning tonight looking like the 1st inning last night. A double, a walk, back-to-back singles.
In and around a terrific, more offense-saving play by Pierce in right field. And none of these hits cheap.
Correa had a spectacular month of April with a .290 ERA. Went 3-2 the month of May. His earned run average was .415. That is .446 in June, winning 3 games. This month it was 3 starts, July 3rd, July 9th, and July 17th. A combined earned run average of .574. Pitcher Jaime Garcia, 3 for 37. See if he's out there to try and bunt the runner to second. Nope. caught nicely done by Walker. Had to time it perfectly.
Another saving play. This inning could have been completely out of hand, but a couple of above average plays.
Neil Walker makes a fine grab of the line drive hit by the pitcher Garcia. Now it's Skip Schumacher against Correa. And another nice grab. Wow. Brandon Wood.
Wow. Get him off the field. Get the bats.
Cardinals get 2. Could have been more. Into the bottom of the second.
Some BBs hit. BBs caught. Now we're going to slow it down. AGH cam. There goes the runner. Here comes the baseball. There is the glove.
Well played. Here's Steve Pearce. Long, frustrating season for Steve Pearce. Reinstated from the DL, that strained right calf. Out since May the 29th. Our day key matchup. 303 career hitter against lefties. Last 7 games while at Indy, 267. Keep an eye on this matchup throughout the game. Thanks to Day Automotive, we're going to make your day. And good strikeout of Steve Pearce.
Goes downstairs, takes a little something off. Quick work. The party liner.
And a line drive by Diaz heading into the corner. Matt Diaz rifles one to right. And into second with a double.
There we go. With authority. Matt Diaz loves to hit to the opposite field. You might wind up having National League teams have a reverse shift on him. You have to pull it to hit the other way.
I mean, I chuckle at that initially, Steve, but I tell you, if I'm an opposing manager,
I shift everybody over. He doesn't want to pull the ball. And nothing cheap about it either.
No.
Not conceding just to try to push the ball over there. That ball had some sting on it.
Brandon Wood now. 215 hitter. And this will allow Diaz to move to third.
You don't see that very often from Yadier Molina. Right through the wicket. That's all camera there, or all catcher there. I mean, it would be a wild pitch, obviously, but Yadier Molina will tell you he never has that happen. That glove is always lower, down on the ground. But maybe a chance for a cheap run.
And they'll concede it, obviously, looking for an out. Even a ground ball will do it. Let's go down to Lacey Collins.
Greg, I saw Brandon Wood run off the field after the first inning. I said, so where'd you get that glove? And he says, it's Neil Walker's. And I said, second baseman, Neil Walker? And he said, yeah, I've got one, but I like his better. And I said, second baseman, Neil Walker again. And he goes, he's got it for emergencies. Today, I think the emergency was called.
Wow. How about that? There's a shot headed up the middle and a base hit. So from the glove to the bat for Brandon Wood. And the Bucks are on the board.
Yeah,
that's a nice answer right there.
Yep, indeed. Proving once again you can do it with the glove and the bat. And Garcia almost picked that ball off. That was very close. Being a great stop by the pitcher.
Brandon Wood picks up RBI number 18. Here's Michael McHenry.
Righty after righty after righty after righty coming at Garcia.
Ball, 1 strike on McHenry. You were talking about the Molina defense, and it seems like that's been a staple for the Cardinals over the years. Whoever they've had behind the plate seems like been strong defensively.
Who's the guy that
Mike Matheny for a long time?
Yeah, he was one of the best.
Off the end of the bat, with a second for 1 and a first. And there's a pick by Pujols at the other end for an inning-ending double play. Pirates get 1 onto the third. 2-1 St. Louis.
Clint Hurdle and several players joining 40 kids in the Miracle League fantasy camp. Neil Walker said it's baseball in its purest form, getting to play just with pure joy by hitting or catching a ball. Now, he said we get as much excitement as players as the kids did. Michael McHenry simply said, I can't wait to get back. Now back to Neil Walker. He made a new friend. Her name is Bailey. She will be attending Pine Richland Middle School, and so she gave him a big go Rams.
All right. Great stuff.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Paul Mahalam was also on hand.
It'll get you down off any cloud you might be on. Yeah. Right there. That's real.
John Jay fouls this ball out of play. Going to open up another Miracle League field before too long. Pirates Charities continues to help out with the different fields in the area. Another one in West Virginia, Bradenton.
Had some ceremonies in Upper St. Clair this year, early on in the season.
1 ball, 1 strike. The count on John Jay. Bounce back to Correa in the first. Again.
The ball goes like that, you automatically think he might have fouled it off his foot. Not so.
Correa again aiming for that 12th win. Now he'll face Albert Pujols for the second time.
Stop booing. Stop booing, Albert. You know, if you can, bring your kids out to watch him tomorrow if you can find a ticket. If not, buy some tickets for the next time the Cardinals are in town, because you'd like your kids, your sons and daughters, nieces and nephews, to see the best player in the National League.
These two teams will meet, as we said earlier, a couple more times here at PNC Park, middle of August and middle of September. 2 3-game series. Line foul.
You know, Greg, I had a chance to have a nice talk with one of our favorites, Mark McGwire. We all know what he went through, but we also know something about the character of Mark McGwire. Talking to him about Albert Pujols, one of the things I took out of the conversation, and by the way, Mark McGwire is not a figurehead. He knows about hitting, and he talks to Albert. Albert talks to him. It's not just having a name of Mark McGwire around. The ball bounced to comfortably to second base. 2 quick outs.
Pirate pair will be riding a motorcycle across the state from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. A 2nd annual Cruise for Cure to raise awareness and funding for prostate cancer research. The journey starts this Friday, concludes Sunday the 31st. Parrot cannot do this alone. Support his cruise by donating or pledging money. To donate, visit pirates.com/cruise. Parrot on hand, and now Holiday fouls us out of play. Steve, you were having this conversation with McGwire, and I remember when Tony La Russa was trying to bring him back out of well, of course he had been retired, but back into baseball. He was really courting him for a couple of years, but that was one of the things he said, is this guy studies hitting. He's a student of the game.
Exactly, and you give Tony La Russa, because Tony had a lot to do. There might have been some issues about bringing him back, and Tony La Russa bought him back, and I give Tony a lot of credit. And Mark McGwire saying about Albert Pujols, he's short to the ball and long after the ball. And that gives you a visual image of how quickly he gets to the ball. Short to the ball, long after the ball. The finish is what carries the ball the distances. He's a good person. This man is a good person.
Yep, he absolutely is. And when we show you the Miracle League fields, I don't know that any player single-handedly has done more for kids, abused kids, over the years than Mark McGwire.
Get a pitch here to work with, which we will. There was talk around the ball club when he was making $7 or $8 million, and I can't confirm it. The first $1 million went to abused kids off the top. Yep. Off the top.
It did.
Well, that'll tell you a little bit about that man right there.
Whoa, look out. Parrott on his toes. They might get a call. Wally Bell maybe thought that was a bit high, but that was close.
Range Resources.
Was a strike.
Strike zone says could have rung him up.
Fly ball heading toward the seats. Remains 3-2.
Yeah, I asked Big Mac, I said, you just turn him loose until, okay, BP starts at 4:30.
With Pujols?
With Pujols. And he said, no, Albert studies the game, and I wait for him to come to me because he's kind of his own batting coach when it comes down to cases, but he will come to me and we will talk about things. So there's an exchange.
And of course, La Russa loves to talk about the Pujols work ethic.
Oh yeah,
in all facets of the game,
and the pride in his defense. Yeah. I mean, he's watching every night, one of the best, and that's a treat. That's a bonus for a manager. And Tony's a baseball fan. I mean, there are a lot of people that have a lot of different opinions about Tony La Russa, but he is very much involved in the game.
Oh, so 2 pitches this at bat go the way of Holliday and the Cardinals. The one that was called a ball that was a strike, and this check swing they appealed, but first base umpire John Hirschbeck said Holliday did not offer.
Check this angle. You get some of those you won't get. They didn't get it there.
Lance Berkman walked and scored in the second as a 6-game hitting streak going. With this day and age, you just don't see many lineups that have 3 boppers like these guys do, these Cardinals.
This is a stronger trio.
Baseball has changed. Yep. And so you have 3 in the order like Pujols, Holliday, and Berkman. That is a tough road. And 2 pitches that miss badly. Correa get a visit here from Michael McHenry. Hoping to make some subtle changes mechanically, primarily focusing on a more stable lower body in his delivery. He says when runners are on base in a tight situation, he tends to use his legs too much, tries a little bit too hard basically, and I think we saw that the first 2 pitches. 2-1.
That was an angry fastball.
Says when that happens, his front side can get ahead of the rest of his body and won't stay on top of the ball as well. And he also said that's something he's fought his entire career. Pitching coach Ray Searage. 2-1 count on Berkman.
Not much threat of Holliday going, is there?
Nope. Line drive right at second base area. Ronnie Cedeno on that overshift makes the play. Some hard hit balls, but 2-1 St. Louis. Bert Blyleven, 287 wins in 22 seasons. Roberto Alomar, 17 seasons, 300 average, 10 Gold Gloves. And Pat Gillick, GM for the Blue Jays, Orioles, Mariners, and Phillies. World Series titles in 92 and 93 with the Jays. Our PNC Achievement brought to you by PNC for the Achiever in You.
How about that 242 complete games? To the anguish of some of his managers. Bert didn't want to come out of a ball game.
Well, Pirate fans, Steve, who've been following this team for many, many years, know that Blyleven, the reason he was traded to then Siberia, Cleveland, was because of his disagreements with Chuck Tanner.
Yep.
He
wanted those complete
games.
He did.
Tanner basically said, we're gonna do what's best for the team, and if that means we're pulling you, but we'll never forget this complete game. One of the greatest curveballs you'll ever see to Cesar Geronimo. 3-game sweep, best of 5 National League Championship Series over the Reds and Three Rivers. Bert Blyleven helping pitch the Pirates into the World Series.
How about that curveball and the curveball of left-hander Rod Scurry? A couple of Pirates that had terrific curveballs. Scurry had one of the best.
It's always a great moment for baseball, obviously, the induction ceremonies taking place in Cooperstown.
I still thank the Pirates for helping me to get to Bill Mazeroski's induction on an afternoon that was almost as hot as yesterday's up in Cooperstown, 2001. Thanks to you, I was sweating all day. Kept me out the night before in Denver, Colorado.
Well, I wanted to go over your itinerary.
Yeah, you sure did.
Garneau is retired. Couple of ground ball outs against Jaime Garcia. Freeze to Pujols. 2 down, brings up Cedeno. Pirates and Cardinals wearing the throwback uniforms, the Negro League teams, the Homestead Grays and the St. Louis Stars. The Stars, originally known as the St. Louis Giants, took on the name of the Stars in 1922. And of course the Grays, along with the Pittsburgh Crawfords, 2 of the very best Negro League teams of all time.
You used to have teams like what, the Birmingham Black Barons, the
Kansas City Monarchs.
Yep.
The Pirates honor the Negro Leagues inside PNC Park at Legacy Square. One ball, 2 strikes.
The other Molina's got a little springboard in his glove tonight.
Gold Glover talking about the fact that over the last 20 years or so, these Cardinals backstops have been Gold Glovers. We talked about Matheny, before him Tom Pagnazzi. Two count on Cedeno.
What an ambassador the Negro Leagues Buck Leonard was, huh? One of the best.
3 ground ball outs. On to the 4th. 2-1 St. Louis.
Fruit Sports is sponsored by Toyota. Buy right the first time and save more. Visit your local Toyota dealer for details. And by AT&T. Let's go Bucks.
And our AT&T Mobility trivia question involving Albert Pujols. 27 homers at PNC Park, most of any visitor. Which 2 players are tied for second? This ballpark opened in 2001. David Freese was retired on a nice play out in right center field by Steve Pierce. What do you think, Steve? Visiting players have hit a bunch of home runs here.
Prince Fielder.
Is it a bunch for sure? I thought of Ramos Ramirez. Now, is it a bunch, but
how about big first baseman for the Phillies?
Ryan Howard hasn't hit but a couple.
How about Braun?
Braun.
I'll say fielder. And what else was it?
Out of play. Well, you got obviously you're on the right track. It's got to be a National League Central Division club. You wonder if Berkman's on that list.
I'm going to say Braun and fielder. No, I'm not going to say Braun. Fielder. And,
I like fielder as a guess. I like that too. David Freese going down swinging.
First strikeout. A wave.
Molina singled in a run in the second. Giving him 34 RBIs this season.
I'm going to say Howard and fielder.
I know for the longest time Howard was homerless here in this yard. So
we're going to take Howard off that list. Stay with fielder.
I like fielder. I wonder if Ramirez might not be up there. I'm going to go ahead and say
Ramirez and fielder. Go with them.
Yeah, I think the director was showing us Berkman to throw us off our game, so he's out. I'll go with fielder and Ramirez. Ground ball to third, scooped. Garneau to Wood. Correa had a 1-2-3 first inning. He retired the first two men in the third before walking Holiday. And he would, of course, love to get Descalzo here so that Jaime Garcia would lead off next inning. Descalzo collected his 26th RBI when he singled on a 3-2 pitch in the second. From any angle, it is a beautiful sight. We say it so many times, there's nothing like a full PNC Park. And the Cardinals players were asked about it after the game last night. Berkman, even Chris Carpenter and Pujols about this atmosphere, how great it is to see.
Mark McGuire was commenting on it today. Good for the city and good for baseball.
Allegheny General Hospital Rotunda filled up.
We keep talking about so many kids that have just heard about good baseball from parents and grandparents. They're tugging on the parents' sleeves. Hey, take me to watch these buckos.
That's what Walker.
That's a win.
Neil Walker was saying that you're starting to see more of these youngsters. You know, pre-teens, teens.
That's when you've really got it going right. When the kids want to come out and see your buckos.
Another souvenir, 2-2 the count on Descalzo. Will be the 12th sellout of the season.
Followed by 13th tomorrow.
Should point out that some tickets do remain for tomorrow. And close play as Wally Bell is hearing it. Close pitch.
Let's take a look at the grid. The strike zone, range resources. Outside. What you have to understand too, when we have that camera behind the pitcher, he's on the shortstop side. So if in conception you moved it directly in back of the pitcher, that ball would appear to be even further outside, just because of of the angle, how that works. So it's not directly behind, so you move it over, you even get more of an effect of being further outside that grid.
Hurdle hoping that Correa wouldn't face Garcia here in this situation, but Garcia, who lined out to Neil Walker in the second, takes strike one. 2-1 St. Louis, 2 outs in the fourth, middle game of this 3-game series. Belated happy birthday wish to Paul Dacey.
Yeah, right. 86 years old, still going strong. He is a stud. He just keeps on trucking.
We just call him E.
Yep.
Big Easy. Fly ball to left coming on. Diaz makes the catch. Move along to the bottom half of inning number 4 at PNC Park. 2-1 St. Louis. And our AT&T Mobility trivia question. Albert Pujols last night at his 27th career home run in this ballpark. Most of any visitor. Which 2 players tied for second? Prince Fielder on that list? Berkman and Edmonds. Steve.
Wow. Jim Edmonds.
We were wrong. Should have trusted our director. Ryan Braun has 7, we're told, so you were right up there, Steve. What about Fielder? 9.
But Howard.
1.
That's what I thought.
Neil Walker starts off this 4th inning. Popped up in the first. Walker, McCutchen, Pierce.
Well, you got yourself a 2-1 ball game going into the middle part. Any opportunity you have, you've got to cash in. It doesn't look like there's going to be the kind of offense or the kind of hitting that we saw last night. So you're within 1, you get an opportunity, you got to cash it in. It doesn't look like you're going to get a whole bunch of them tonight. Be on the lookout.
Walker has steadily brought that batting average up from the right side up. Was hitting .236 the start of the day from this side of the plate. Just over a month ago, he was hitting only .198 as a right-hand hitter. Breaking ball, diving stop. Descalso to his feet. What a play. Daniel Descalso.
Didn't know much about this young man, but he can pick it. Went out into center field, made a nice catch on the run to save his pitcher, Garcia, and now saves him again. 2-1 game, leadoff man. Looks like a sure base hit, and is not.
Just his 5th start at short, robbing Walker of a hit.
Boy, the AGH cam really shows you how the hinge closes on these gloves, these modern gloves. You get the ball inside and both sides of the glove close over. And that's how they're made. They're made to do that. Get the ball in the pocket, it's going to stay there.
So it didn't close as easily like just the webbing that did it before, right? Now
Yeah,
you get the...
yeah, pretty much, and that was because it was up there with softer, less padding and all that. But these things are hinges. And take a look at that glove that Mr. Garcia had. We're looking at the Descalzos now, but when we look at the pitcher, Garcia, it's red, and it looked like 6 cows died for that glove. Looks huge.
Struck out McCutchen looking in the first. He can afford it. $27 million 4-year extension earlier this month
For Garcia. And he has won 23 games in the big leagues.
That's how much they think of this 25-year-old. 22nd round pick in 2005 out of Sherryland High School in Mission, Texas.
And lost all of 2009 to arm miseries. In effect, lost the whole season. Comes back in what is his rookie year last year, goes 13-8.
Made his big league debut against the Bucks. If you've got a question for Steve Blass, now's the time to ask. Grab your cell phone, text the keyword booth, followed by your name and your question to 412-412. He may answer it on the air later in the game. Remember, message and data rates may apply.
Do I get any of those data rates?
No.
Good. I answer the question. I should.
Again, no. Strike on Steve Pearce. Struck out in the second. Bounced sharply, but the third baseman Freese turns this into a double play. 5-4-3 and 4 complete at PNC Park. St. Louis up by 1. Nine Eagle Advantage card, Bucks and Cardinals 135. Purchase tickets on the day of the game and you'll save $5 off select reserve seats. Purchase in advance, double those savings to $10 off. Get tickets, visit the PNC Park ticket windows or go online, pirates.com/advantage card. Strike on Schumacher. Skip Schumacher has grounded out and lined to first. And just soft serves this one into left. Leadoff hit.
Once again, you don't have to tattoo the ball every time to get some action going for yourself. Pitch down and away, way down, way away, and just gets enough of the bat on it to send it over the head of Chase Darno.
John Jay will come to the plate. He has bounced out twice to the pitcher Correa.
Critical juncture right here. You're getting down looking at that trio we keep talking about. You don't want many people on base, as Greg mentioned earlier, but Schumacher is on there now. Critical at bat. Jay, kind of the opening act for the big trio.
Ground ball, but a base hit into center. And it'll be first and third. McCutchen throws it toward third base, but no chance. Schumacher easily into third base, and now first and third, nobody out for Pujols.
Keep in mind, Greg mentioned that he has hit into 22
double plays. Yep. And here's an interesting text the booth question from John. Steve, how would you have pitched to Albert Pujols?
Well, I'll be very serious. I've been thinking about that, and I would try to crowd him, get him off the plate, and I won with sliders. Try to get him off the plate, move him off the plate, even if I miss, and throw sliders away. And still, there's no guarantee. But you've got to protect your effective pitching zone. My pitching zone for right-handers was out away with the slider, and you got to protect that by moving them and not letting them dive out there to take that pitch away.
Let me ask you this: have you seen over the years enough pitchers maybe do that to Pujols, or few do?
I only see our guys, and apparently we're not doing it a lot with the numbers he's putting up. And that's not a guarantee. He is just simply that good. My ultimate way of pitching to him would be when he's out with that broken wrist.
There's your answer, John. Pitch to him when he's on the DL with a broken wrist. Line drive foul.
Let me just point out here where that pitch was that he pulled foul. Take a look at the grid. That pitch is downstairs, not far enough away, so he's able to turn it back around. But down is good. Keeps him on the ground. And overthrowing that breaking ball. That's the ultimate example of getting the body so far out in front of your arm that your arm can never catch up. Big point in this ball game right here, right now. Top of the fifth inning. A lot of ball to be played after this, but this could set a tone one way or the other.
Even this pitch set the tone for this whole ball game. Line drive into the gap in right center.
Pitch upstairs. That's just the danger zone. Albert's going to hurt you a lot with that location.
Another hit, another ribby for Pujols. 3-1.
Pitch by pitch to Albert. Downstairs and then pulled foul. We're okay. Bad miss with the curveball and then right in the hitting zone. You may get away with that kind of pitch once a year against Albert.
Albert Pujols approaching 1,300 runs batted in.
Talking short to the ball and then look at the big finish. Short to the ball, long after the follow through. Carry. Activity in the Pirate bullpen.
Just an amazing, amazing career. Just phenomenal numbers. And he's still just 31 years old. Big question in St. Louis, will he be wearing a Cardinals uniform after this season?
How could you not pay him a boatload of money?
Well, he'll be paid a boatload. Who pays it is the question, right?
Why wouldn't the Cardinals? I can't conceive of any doubt.
It'd be hard to imagine.
Think of the
him
tickets.
Not playing in St. Louis.
Think of the tickets he sells night after night. I know they
yeah,
draw good anyway.
Well, yeah, but think of the tickets other cities would sell if they. That's the bidding war that's going to take place. Because everybody, I mean, any teams that can afford them, they're a handful. Just dreaming of what he would do to their lineup. Nobody out, first and third. Infield looking for a double play ball. Matt Holliday has doubled and walked and scored.
See what this does when the number one, number two guy get on in front of these people? It just opens the door and activates an opposing bullpen.
Foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike on Matt Holliday. Batting title in 2007. Hit .340 for Clint Hurdle. Came over from the A's in July of 2009. And the Brett Wallace deal. 1-1 count. Daniel McCutchen loosening in the bullpen. You think about the hitters over the years that the Cardinals have added in trades, summer deals. We just mentioned Holliday. Remember Mark McGwire? He was acquired from Oakland.
Oh yeah.
Jim Edmonds coming over from the Angels. The last 20 years or so, they've added some big time boppers, and now with a week to go
Berkman,
for the
Holliday.
non-waiting trading deadline. Scott Rowland, of course, from the Phillies. J.D. Drew. Well, Berkman was signed over the winter, but as we approach the non-waiver trading deadline a week from tomorrow, now the question is, are they going to add, maybe for the first time in a long time, a pitcher? It would seem that the Cardinals have one area of weakness might be that rotation and even the end of their bullpen. An ERA of .393 at the start of the day. Team ERA about in the middle of the pack. Kyle Loesch was a question mark as to whether he was going to be able to go tomorrow. They say he's all right with that inflamed right middle finger. Had an injection the other day in St. Louis. He is apparently going to be okay to go tomorrow. Kyle Loesch, tomorrow afternoon starter. He opposed by Charlie Morton. Dave Duncan, the pitching coach. He's been by Tony La Russa's side for many, many years.
Warm night, and Kevin Correa is laboring here in the 5th inning.
going to reach the seats. Stays 2-2 on Holiday.
Just trying to think of any way to get a ground ball double play to clean it up, or a strikeout to possibly even keep that runner at third from scoring. And Kevin Correa is working as hard as he possibly can to keep this thing together here in the top of the fifth, because it has got a chance to really blow up here in the top of the fifth inning.
Still 2-2.
And this sounds funny, but every good pitch you throw in this kind of situation gets you closer and closer to throwing a pitch that can't possibly measure up to all the good ones. And it's just a simple equation. Trying to get him to chase upstairs, swing through a pitch that is out of the zone for a strikeout.
Oh, yeah. Brother.
Great breaking ball. Still a little in the tank to get enough cut on that cutter, slider, whatever you want to call it. That's a dandy. That is a pitcher's pitch in a big time situation. Now, if you could get a ground ball, Berkman does not run very well, but he doesn't hit a lot of ground balls. He's got that uppercut swing.
I think he's hit only six double plays.
Six double plays, but it's on the table now.
Yep. Big time strikeout. Great work from Kevin. Fly ball deep to center field, and Lance Berkman has clubbed a 3-run homer, his 27th. 6-1 St. Louis. Right after the big strikeout of Holiday, Correa gives up the 3-run bomb to Berkman.
We talked about this trio. That is right down Grant Street.
National League leader in home runs. Gives him 69 RBIs. That's 4th most in the league. Another PNC Park home run for Berkman. So he is now 2nd behind Albert Pujols all time. What a comeback season for Lance Berkman.
We talk about taking the air out of a ballpark. Ouch.
Lance Berkman now with 27 home runs this season. This ball into the right fielder Pierce for the 2nd out. Berkman hit a total of 14 home runs last year combined with the Astros and Yankees. His career high is 45 in 2006. His career high RBI total is also in 06, 136 ribbies for the Houston Astros. Berkman among the all-time league leaders in home runs among switch hitters, 354 now for his career.
Mantle, Murray, Chipper Jones, and
that's it.
Lance Berkman.
Mantle at 536. Eddie Murray with 404, 504, and Chipper Jones 444. Two 2-1 count on Yadier Molina.
You just wonder if he doesn't get Yadier Molina, if Clint would come out and get Kevin.
Probably. Certainly McCutchen is ready. tough lineup. Correa has allowed 6 runs on 7 hits.
The Cardinals pound up about 15 or 16 hits last night.
15. Stays 2-2. Molina, an RBI single in the second, and a ground out in the fourth. The line for Kevin Correa. Last time out in Houston went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. Fly ball toward the line and hits the pole for a home run. Yadier Molina's 7th. And the Cardinals have put a 7th spot on the board. That is going to be it. A short night for Correa.
Molina hits his 2nd home run in 2 nights.
Kevin Correa, who 2 starts back, went just 3 2/3 against the Cubs. Tonight goes 4 2/3 against the St. Louis Cardinals. They lead 7-1. The Cardinals a 6-4 lead. This one gives them a 7-1 advantage.
He continues to torture Pirate pitching.
Pujols and the rest of the Cardinals love it. It hits the foul pole as they react.
Tell big bong gets that.
Daniel McCutchen.
Scoreless 7th last night as he came into work to 3 batters. They gave up the single to Albert. Got a double play off the bat of Matt Holliday.
Correa gives up 7 and 4 2/3 on 8 hits. Fly ball to center fielder McCutchen.
McCutchen to McCutchen.
Teams, exclusive offers, and more. Text alerts to 412-412 for Root Sports Red Alerts. Message and data rates may apply.
Well, revolt and development in the top of the 5th, 5 in the 5th for the Cardinals.
And on the other side, Jaime Garcia has given up 1 run on 3 hits. Looking for his 10th win.
I saw Molina go over and talk to him in the 1/2 inning when they scored a bunch of runs. He's still a young pitcher, saying you can't change your approach. I'm almost sure he went over and counseled him on what he would like him to do with a lead that just really got extended. He has been efficient.
Nice job there by Diaz. 2 line drives, a double to right, and a single to center.
As far as I know, there's no law against comeback, so let's have 5 innings to work in that deficit. Has to start somewhere.
Brandon Wood with the RBI single in the second.
Garcia came into this game with 106 strikeouts in 124 innings. Very good. He recorded 2 tonight. He got McCutchen and Pierce. Just
Fly
missed
ball
it,
to left.
but he missed it.
One out. 5th inning. Garcia, as we said, made his major league debut here at PNC Park in relief July 11th, 2008. 2 months later, he underwent Tommy John surgery. Missed much of the 2009 season. So a solid 2010, 13 and 8, a 2.70 ERA.
Really terrific numbers for a rookie.
3rd in the National League Rookie of the Year award voting. Buster Posey, the Giants, won it. Garcia really one dreadful outing this year. May 28th at Colorado. They kept him out there.
Wonder if it was a life lesson.
3 in the 3rd innings, 11 runs.
That's getting your hat handed to you. Yeah, take that 11 spot out of the ERA, and you get an idea how good this young man has been.
Takes care of Michael McHenry. So Xavier Paul now will bat for McCutchen. Third K for Garcia. Paul with just 2 hits and 24 at bats as a pinch hitter. He's been much better in the starting role in terms of the batting average.
They were telling us that Garcia spent most of his youth in Texas, but was born in Reynosa, Mexico, a native.
And quickly out in front, 0-2. Takes care of Paul after a leadoff hit by Diaz. A fly out and 2 strikeouts back to back. Freeze cam up to get the line drive hit by Jaime Garcia in the 2nd is Neil Walker. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Tony Watson coming in. You take a look at the bearded one, Neil Walker at second base. Ladies, nice to see you at the ballpark. Tony Watson, nice to see what he did the other night. 2 2/3 innings of scoreless relief. Coming on to work here in the top of the 6th.
And according to Clint Hurdle, now that they have added Jason Grilli, maybe Tony Watson will be a long man. Of course, he has long been a starter in his professional career, converted to the relief role last season. Jason Grilli made his Pirates debut last night, a scoreless 9th.
Wasn't the easiest scoreless inning he'll ever have, but it was a 0. And just a message to Mr. Garcia. Now, Albert Pujols can stick his tongue out when he's hitting and hit. When you're up there, Mr. Garcia, if you stick your tongue out, you might bite it off. You're not in the same category. Good try by Tony. Careful.
Fly ball toward right center. McCutchen. I get the impression you wouldn't take too kindly to a pitcher doing that if you were up there, Steve.
Sticking his tongue out?
Yeah.
Well, I probably wouldn't be even seeing it, but.
Well, you'd find out.
Well, I don't think he's doing it to show you up at all. I remember doing it when I was pitching, so just subconsciously.
So you're saying you're
no, that wouldn't bother you.
That wouldn't bother you.
No.
So you were.
Got no problem.
You're actually saying be careful.
Yeah, I am.
It's okay for
pull
balls.
Yeah, he wasn't making fun of anybody.
Okay, just to be clear.
I don't even think you're aware of doing that when you do it. But I do get the idea that Mr. Garcia is a pretty good athlete.
Yeah.
That sense. Not just a pitcher. Puts the bat on the ball.
Put him down. Nice play there by Cedeno. We'll talk about Cedeno, his return, and came into tonight's game with an 11-game hitting streak. Returned to the lineup last night, and it really does solidify that shortstop position. He has only 5 errors this season.
He makes this play comfortably.
Just quietly having a real strong year defensively is Cedeno.
Turns an interesting, not easy play into one that looks like one.
He is tied with Jimmy Rollins in terms of fielding percentage among shortstops, second only to Troy Tulowitzki. Cardinals have been retired in order just once. That was a 1-2-3 first inning for Kevin Correa. There he is on deck. Las Diaz said he went. McHenry, after the appeal, got it. And Las Diaz said he offered. So 1-2-3 go the Cardinals. They're up by 6. Leadoff hitters. Chase Darno will step to the plate. And leadoff hitters for the Bucks have done really outstanding work. 376 on base, just behind the Cubs. Barrel Automotive definitely worth the click. Cheering for the Bucks.
Oh, that's blonde right there. That is really, really blonde.
Strike one. Darno, one of 4 Pirate hits. Diaz has 2. Brandon Wood, the RBI single in the second. Looks a little like Mike Gonzalez, doesn't he, Steve?
He does. I was trying to think a little bit. I was thinking Albert Pujols perhaps a little bit at first, but yeah, more like Mike Gonzalez. Like Gonzo.
Gonzo. One away. Check out some minor league scores. 6-1 Indy losing, but Pedro Alvarez 1 for 2 with an RBI. Jeff Locke, meanwhile, has allowed just 1 hit as the Curve hosts New Britain. Colton Kane has pitched 6 innings for the West Virginia Power. A rain delay in Bradenton. The Marauders. We know that Jose Tabata is not in the lineup again.
Because he's here.
That's right. We understand he was here yesterday, being checked out by team doctors. So Jose Tabata in uniform, but still on the disabled list. Line drive to center. And carry out to Jay. Meadows Racetrack and Casino scoreboard. The Cubs were winners over the Astros today. Reds pounded the Braves. Tonight the Brewers and Giants. Randy Wolf against Ryan Vogelsong. Phillies got by the Padres. Mets are blanking the Marlins. D-backs lead the Rockies in Phoenix. Tonight the Dodgers host the Washington Nationals. Neil Walker 0 for 2. Robbed of a hit by shortstop Daniel Descalso his last time up. The Giants are 4 up on the Diamondbacks in the West, and the Phillies are 4.5 up on Atlanta in the East.
And we have some interest in that Giants game tonight. Later on, out in San Francisco.
Milwaukee started the day a game up on the Pirates and Cardinals in the Central. Brewers were winners last night. That game at AT&T Park in San Francisco. A 3-1 count on Walker. Line to right. And extra bases. Double for Walker.
Finally gets it over Albert Pujols' head. Couldn't do it last night. 2 line shots at Albert. They were caught by the Cardinals first baseman. No catch in this one.
McCutchen has struck out and walked. Last night he was 2 out of 4. And hits this one to Holiday and left. We have completed 6 at PNC Park. Jaime Garcia and the Cardinals lead 7-1.
Sports is sponsored by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks.
St. Louis up 7-1 in game 2 of the 3-game series. The Cardinals won last night 6-4. And it's Albert Pujols leading off against Tony Watson. Strike one. Pujols RBI single in the 5th.
A lot of people will say, Greg, why don't you just go ahead and walk him every time? That's not the purpose of this game. The purpose of the game is find out if you're better than the other guy. There are situations, of course, when you walk him. But this obviously is not one of them.
Broken bat. Line drive caught. Tony Watson, a nice job against Pujols.
Coming all the way across the hitting zone, in on the hands. Remember when Bonds was doing all that? They said, why don't you just walk Barry Bonds? Is that the purpose of the game? I mean,
Holiday fouls it off. A double, a walk, and a strikeout for Holiday. Cardinals with 2 home runs tonight. They hit 3 last night. Pirates, meanwhile, their home run drought continues. 54 innings without a home run consecutively, going back to their last stinger in Houston. Nick Punto on deck. Strike 3. Nice work from Watson. 5 up, 5 down. Nick Punto will pinch hit for Berkman.
you know, you just piggyback that home run note with the fact the Pirates don't have the firepower to play a lot of catch-up baseball. The pitching has been so spectacular that you know, it kind of hides that, where they haven't been forced to play as much catch-up baseball as they have in previous years. But you know, we've said it and we've said it and we've said it, that pitching cannot run the table for an entire season. You're going to have offense that can get the job done when you're not pitching very well. That's a fact of life in a long season.
No, and that's why, as you approach the deadline, why people are wondering if the Pirates are going to go out and try and get a legitimate home run threat. Is that threat going to be Pedro Alvarez or someone else outside the organization?
Well, you'd love to have it be Pedro, because you wouldn't have to give anything up, and it would solve your question. Everybody's saying you need a thumper in the line. Well, if Pedro's that thumper, end of discussion.
4-pitch walk to the pinch hitter Punto. Clint Hurdle was talking about Alvarez before the game today, and really talking about no timetable. Hopeful that it's before too long that we see Alvarez tonight. Saw moments ago our graphic showed him 1 for 2 with an RBI double.
He's going to be asked about him every day.
Yep.
I'm sure that'll be discussed tomorrow with the Neil Huntington show. I mean, you have to. I mean, fans need to know. They want to know what the situation is with Pedro. Pirates are in contention.
Yep.
They're asking a lot of questions, and they deserve answers, and they'll get answers.
There's the other thing that comes into play here, Steve. What will these other teams in this division do over the next 8 days? The Brewers going to go get someone? Are the Cardinals going to go get somebody in the rotation, or someone for the end of the bullpen?
Yeah, they want to win too.
Reds are talking. They might trade. Walt Jocketty was talking about that earlier today.
Well, their names being flung all over the place by the GMs.
This one past Brandon Wood into right field. David Freese on the 2-1 pitch, singles to right. It's first and third. Well, you know, interesting thing that Neil Huntington talked about a couple of weeks ago. We were asking him about trades and what other clubs are asking. He said it's kind of like the catching situation when Domet went down and Snyder was down. Other teams, you know, when we would call, essentially they were asking for a king's ransom.
Absolutely.
And
they
because they looked like
spot.
We're desperate. And the same thing now. Other clubs kind of think, well, the Pirates are in contention for the first time since 1992. We'll hold them up.
Yep.
They have to make a trade. And that's where, like, I guess, patience really comes into play.
Yeah, the sellers can sit back and see what it's going to take. It's the buyers. The buyers are going to get held up. That's the way the system works.
Ray Searage out to talk to Watson. Coors Light cold hard blast. As Yadier Molina will come to the plate. 2 outs, 2 on. Cold hard blast brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And this is a home run that is fair off the foul pole.
Ray Searage trying to buy some time for the Pirate bullpen as they see that Tony Watson, after 2 outs, scuffling here in the top of the 7th. He's being stretched out, and they love to get this second inning intact from Tony.
Jason Grilli.
Saw him last night.
Fly ball to left. Diaz with the catch. We'll keep it here. This sellout crowd not really liking the score at the moment. Still Pirates will have 3 more shots. And
for the 7th inning stretch.
7th inning stretch time.
We invite you now to stand, follow the bouncing Eaton Park Smiley Cookie, and join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Pirates trailing 7-1. Great shots from the AGH cam. Skip Schumacher moves from second base to right field. And Nick Punto stays in the game to play second as Lance Berkman gets the rest of the night off.
Well, he earned his pay tonight. That 3-run shot.
Steve Pearce 0 for 2. Whoops.
Just a bit high.
3-1. Steve Pearce has his first Pirate hit since his return from the disabled list. 6th hit for the Pirates. Diaz has hit the ball hard twice, a double to right in the 2nd and single to start the 5th.
And they're still lined up defensively in kind of a conventional configuration. John Jay in center field, extremely confident in his ability to go back, almost a straight line with the St. Louis outfielders across left, center, right.
Time is called. Dave Duncan going to go out.
Just kind of wondering, with a substantial lead like this, with a young pitcher who has had a little history of arm problems, how much Tony La Russa would want out of him. I would think maybe considering a 7-inning outing, even though he's going strong, and he has been very efficient. He's just in the low 70s with a pitch count. Well, Dave might be going out just to get a reading, look him in the eye and say, "How are you doing, young man?"
Coax the Pirates into a rally. And that is just foul.
Matt can turn on the ball. He is able. He has the technology to turn on the ball and not hit everything to the opposite field.
Still looking for that first home run as a Pirate.
he hit that ball backwards between his legs?
I think so. Wow.
I think he did.
I think he did.
It's not easy to do. And it's not very safe.
Unbelievable. And goes down against Garcia.
Number 5 for the left-hander. Kind of came up through the minor leagues as having one of those exceptional curveballs downstairs. Showed him how effective that could be right there.
Garcia trying for his 10th win. He's done so far per inning.
Labored the most in the first inning.
One hot shot to third. Another double play around the horn as the 4th inning ended. The 5-4-3 DP.
Bin Furniture, home of the Tempur-Pedic, the most recommended mattress in America. Let's go Bucks!
Fireworks will follow this game.
You know it'll be a good show.
And tomorrow, Pirates and Cardinals, 1:35 Kids Day. All youngsters 14 and under get a Jose Tabata replica alternate jersey courtesy of Chevrolet. Come early for the #1 Cochran Kids Fun Zone on Federal Street. Stay after the game. All youngsters invited to run the bases thanks to H.K. Anderson Pretzels. Go to Pirates.com for tickets. And Jose Tabata has returned. Not active, but on the bench. And by the way, we see that at Victory Field in Indianapolis, Pedro Alvarez has homered. We're just talking about that moments ago. You wonder how close Alvarez is.
And it'll be directly correlated with the success of the Pirates. The more the Pirates struggle, if they do, the more interest you will hear about when is Pedro going to be back. When you're cooking along, win a lot of ball games, yeah, there's interest, not the urgency. Right. Got a feeling if this doesn't work out tonight, there will begin to be some thoughts of urgency.
Steve, what do you think about what I think is a fact that at least Alvarez, when he's here, gives you the threat, almost regardless of the numbers? I mean, people can come up with the numbers, I understand that, but I'm asking you from a pitcher standpoint.
Yes.
When you see this big man on deck, doesn't that come into play?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. And you combine that with the fact the Pirates have a substantial commitment to Pedro Alvarez. But if you're out there, yeah, that's a guy that can hurt you. One swing of the bat can turn a ball game completely around.
Dribbler gonna be an infield hit.
Don't do anything about that one. Once it stays on the grass, you see how close the line is to the grass, but when it stays on the grass, nothing you can do. The minute that ball gets off the grass, many times it's just going to go across the line because the line is so close to that edge.
Descalzo, a swinging bunt single. AGH cam from the third baseline look. And as Steve said, it stays on the grass, it's going to be a hit. Jaime Garcia, pitcher. 4-6, and they will not turn. Oh, they will. Brandon Wood stays on the bag. And apparently that throw beat Garcia for a double play. Not the prettiest you'll ever see.
Yeah, it was a high chop, so really it takes a little time, as Neal can't really force the issue by coming in on the ball, but they get the call.
Skip Schumacher. One for 4. Kevin Gray on the hook would fall to 11 and 8.
Bad decision at first base. Well intentioned by Brandon Wood, but if he holds his ground, Neil Walker's going to get that ball, and it's going to be an easy 4-3.
First start for Wood over at first base.
Yep. There's the chop. See Neil coming over. He's got a very comfortable play there, and just one of those decisions that it's going to happen because you're not over there on a regular basis.
Second hit for Schumacher. And the 11th for the Cardinals.
Going to double figures for the second straight night.
Nice stab by Watson. And that'll do it for John Jay and the Cardinals.
Nice job by Tony.
Yeah, 3 scoreless innings for Tony Watson.
Woke up this morning because 20 years ago today, July 23rd, 1991. That's right. He said if you see the video, which I warned him we've got, it's the younger, skinnier with more hair Jeff Bannister. He picked up his one and only hit he had in the major leagues. Now I asked him about the video and he says it's great because my kids can see I played in the big leagues. I met his daughter Alexandra and I asked, what's the biggest moment your dad's ever had? She said, I love the fact that he got the Pride of the Pirates award earlier this season, and that's when team president Frank Coonley said he bleeds black and gold.
That he does, Lacey. Thank you. As this pitch is hit to second baseman, and Punto's throw skips past Pujols. So McHenry is aboard. There's Jeff Bannister. Another look behind second base. Punto had more time than he realized. Longtime twin with Punto, who's been outstanding defensively. And Jeff Bannister.
Yep. Wore a good number back in the day, 28. A lot of hits left in that uni, Jeff.
Steve Blass's uniform number. Lyle Overbay bats for Watson.
Busy bullpen for the Redbirds.
The ball hit well toward left center field, but that is the deep part of the yard. And Holiday tracks it down. So long out for Overbay, 1 away in the 8th inning. Jason Mott loosening in the bullpen for St. Louis. Darno, infield hit in the first and stole a base, grounded out in the 3rd and 6th innings. Homestead Grays. Pirates and Cardinals honoring great Negro League team as this weekend continues, African American Heritage Weekend. Grays formed in 1912 by Cumberland Posey. Played for 38 seasons.
38.
Entered the Negro National League in 1935. Josh Gibson and Buck Leonard really powered the Grays. 9 consecutive National League, Negro League championships. 3 Negro League World Series titles.
Well, they used to call Josh Gibson the Black Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
A lot of people called Babe Ruth the White Josh Gibson. He turned that thing upside down too. He was that good.
Of course, the Grays, as Jose Veras loosens in the bullpen, for a while played their home games at Forbes Field. Late 30s and through the 40s.
The Crawfords from the historic Crawford Grill.
And now the Homestead High Level Bridge is the Homestead Grays Bridge. There's a base hit for Chase Darno. First and second. Brings up Cedeno. How much longer LaRussa will stay with Garcia?
Well, Tony doesn't want this young man to get beat up. He'd like to protect his numbers, and here he comes.
Another look at the second hit of the night for Chase Darno down the line and left. Tony LaRussa will make this pitching change.
When the guy does this kind of job for you, you want to protect his evening and preserve those good numbers. You don't want to let him get beat up in a game that is somewhat out of hand.
Bad luck for Luke Scott. Placed on the 15-day disabled list toward his right labrum in his first game back from rehab. Adrian Beltre on the 15-day DL. Hamstring troubles. Edgar Renteria replaced rookie Zach Cozart in the 4th inning. Had a couple of hits, 3 RBIs as the Reds pound the Braves. Hyperextended elbow for Cozart. Chase Utley 3 for 3, a pair of homers. The Phillies beat the Padres 8-6.
Not enough for the Phillies have that kind of pitching. But Chase Utley getting revved up.
Bounce to Punto. On to Descalzo to retire the middle man Darno. Cedeno bounces into the force play. First and third, 2 outs.
So Garcia goes 7 1/3, giving up 8 hits, just 1 run, walked 5 strikeouts. Still responsible for the runner at third base. Not almost averaging a strikeout per inning. Very impressive outing for Jaime Garcia. Keeps it going. Got a chance to go to 10-4 after a 13-8 rookie season.
Neil Walker's double in the 6th. One of 8 Pirate hits. Down by 6.
Garcia helped by 3 double plays. I told you early in the ball game, he keeps the ball down. He gets a lot of ground balls through a lot of strikes. He did that. Pitched very effectively. Very impressive outing.
He said he went
on that 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Struck him out looking.
97 miles an hour.
Head to inning number 9, 7-1 St. Louis. AGH cam.
Pictures of the game. Good stuff. You know, that glove coming down on the ball is like those monster movies when a huge insect comes down and picks up an entire city.
I was thinking of the same thing. Yeah. That's exactly right. Well, despite the score, having some fun. Bummed out that the Cardinals appear as if they're going to take 2 straight, which means that will set the stage for tomorrow. Jose Veras, his 49th appearance. The Pirates will need a win tomorrow, apparently, to avoid being swept by the Cardinals. Charlie Morton against Kyle Loesch, but one more shot, you never know. Bottom of the 9th inning.
Yep, it's not been much fun from a baseball standpoint, but you cannot come to this neighborhood when the Pirates are playing and not have a good time. You want your Buccos to win every night, but tough one tonight.
Here is Pujols.
Albert has been somewhat contained, although he had a key base hit to keep the momentum going in the top of the 5th when they put up the big number, the 5 spot.
One hit tonight, the RBI single in the 5th. 7 hits shy now of 2,000 for his career. Joined Cardinal greats Stan Musial, Luke Rock, Rogers Hornsby, and Enos Slaughter. Other Cardinals, 2,000 hits.
Not really looking for the big hook right there, but he got it.
How many hits, RBIs, home runs will he have when he's finished playing the game?
How high can you count?
Yeah. 430 career homers. 41st all time, one shy of Cal Ripken.
And not a #1 draft choice. What, 10th, 12th round?
13th
round.
round.
round, yeah.
31 years old.
Apparently heals well also with wrist.
Got the home plate umpire, Wally Bell.
Up and in, and then back. Just a fraction of a second when the only person who knew where that ball was Wally Bell. See, there you see the basic fundamental approach: up and in, down and away to Albert. Go conventional and take your chances.
Presley out with the bruised thumb. And he walks. I think too, have so many incredible things about Pujols. Only struck out 29 times this season. Only 2 other players in the league that are tougher to strike out than Pujols. Placido Polanco of the Phillies and Jose Reyes of the Mets. 22 homers, 60 RBIs. On base for the 2nd time tonight after his 4-for-5 performance last night.
Well, you know, you take an overview of what's been happening for the Pirates. A great run, but then you know you're looking down the barrel. This homestand, Cincinnati, St. Louis. Now you're going to Atlanta, Philadelphia. You got a lot of stuff going on, and what you want to do is maintain what you've accomplished. You don't have to run the table and win every ball game, but you just don't want to get buried. It's the philosophy going into a tough stretch of games. Hold your own. Just keep your head above water. So you look at the first 2 wins against Cincinnati, and they lost the 3rd one, and now you're looking, a little 3-game skid here. Cardinals get 3 more outs. But you'd love to win that game tomorrow afternoon, just to maintain and not look down the road at a possible stretch where you could get in trouble. Win that game tomorrow, and that kind of clears the air. That would be the approach, I would think, what you'd like to do.
Unless they rally, it'll be their first 3-game losing streak of the season since dropping 4 in a row. June 17th through the 20th, they were swept in Cleveland, the 3-game series, and then lost the first of 3 to the Orioles here at PNC Park on June the 20th. Holiday goes down swinging.
Big sweeper from Jose.
Nissan presents the road ahead. Tomorrow afternoon, again, it's the Cardinals. And then the Braves begin that 7-game road trip, 4 at Turner Field. Upcoming Pirates telecast on Root Sports, starting with Pirates pregame, half hour before each game. Again, presented by Nissan, the road ahead.
And let's be honest, too, you would be hearing a lot more about the Atlanta Braves if it were not for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah.
The Braves are having a terrific year, but the Phillies are just they're out of control right now. So, point being, Charlie Morton could come up big tomorrow. That would be huge for the Pirates. That would be a huge win, all things considered, in the big picture. That's a stop any NHL goalie would be proud of. I guess we need to use the word save.
Nick Punto, who pinch hit for Berkman in the 7th, stayed in the game, placed second, walked in the 7th. Nice job from Tony Watson.
Yes, indeed.
3 scoreless innings of relief.
Save some arms.
Yep.
Not only save some arms, impresses your manager and your pitching coach too with his abilities. Not just it winds up being a very good thing for the team, but you get noticed doing that. Elevate your stock, as they say.
Punto batting from the left side against Veras. Jeff Karstens has the lowest ERA in the National League right now among qualified pitchers. We'll see what happens tonight with Ryan Vogelsong. As much as we'd love to see Karsten stay atop, I'm actually kind of rooting for Vogelsong. He's taking on the Milwaukee Brewers in San Francisco. Game's in the 2nd inning, scoreless. And now 3-2 on Nick Punto. That is Randy Wolf from Milwaukee, and Vogelsong, a former Pirate, pitching for San Francisco. Maris walks Punto after striking out Holiday. 2 walks in the inning for Jose Veras. Faces David Freese. Freese 1 for 4. .96 on the gun, but ball 1 to the Cardinals' third baseman. Freese was acquired from the Padres 4 years ago on the Jim Edmonds deal. We're talking about earlier some of the players the Cardinals have brought in July over the years. Jim Edmonds being one of them. Edmonds put up some outstanding seasons for Tony La Russa and the Cardinals. And then they traded him in December of 07 for David Freese. Tony La Russa's 16th season as the skipper of the Cardinals.
Closing in on some, what, 2,700 wins?
Yeah, all time he's third on the all-time managerial wins list with the 2,690. John McGraw is next on that list, 2,763. Under Tony La Russa, this Cardinals team has won a franchise record 1,370 games, 8 division titles, 2 National League pennants, and in 2006 their 10th World Championship. So say what you want about La Russa, but he is consistently leading his team to contention, regardless of those injuries you talked about earlier, Steve.
Well, they've patching things together.
It seems like every year, though, the Cardinals have to go through something like that. Freese with a drive to right toward the corner. And Pierce pulls up. This will bring in a run. It'll be a double as Pujols scores. Ball hit into the right field corner.
Long trip for Steve Pierce. This ball is down in that no man's land right in front of the chalk.
Gerald Laird now bats for Molina. Molina was 2 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs. A dozen hits for the Cardinals. Two and 0. Jose Veras has walked 2. The RBI double by Freese makes it an 8-1 ball game.
Laboring Jose Veras.
Gerald Laird's brother Brandon picked up his first big league hit as a Yankee yesterday. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. And Cedeno on to first. 8-1. Go to the ground ball that will produce the 9th run. A ground out. Cedeno going on to first. The RBI for Laird is a pinch hitter for Molina, making it a 9-1 ball game. Scoring Punto. Brings up Descalzo. 2 in the 9th. Cardinals scored 2 in the 2nd and 5 in the 5th. Last night they won 6-4, out hit the Pirates 15-11. Tonight out in front 9-1. This win will even their record on this 9-game road trip at 4-4. They dropped 2 of 3 in Cincinnati, lost 2 of 3 to the Mets, but they're going to win their first 2 here at PNC Park. The Bucks took 2 of 3 from the Cardinals in April.
Morton going against Loesch tomorrow. Loesch has struggled recently, 1-5 his last 7 starts.
And we'll be watching again to see about that inflammation of the right middle finger, to see what impact that has. Charlie Morton will make his 6th career start against the Redbirds. He beat Loesch in his first start of the year, April the 4th in St. Louis. And 3-1. Tomorrow afternoon, the pitching matchup.
Looks like a pretty even match according to the numbers.
Morton's last start, 2-0 win over the Reds on Monday, went 5 scoreless.
Part of that 2-0, 1-0 program where the Pirates scored a total of 3 runs and won 2 straight games.
Joe Bimo ready.
In case Jose cannot close the door, close the deal. The door is open. It's been open. Clint Hurdle has gone to the top of the steps.
Yep.
Here he comes.
Didn't want to have to go to Bimo. We got 3 innings out of Tony Watson to try and save the bullpen, but Jose Veras walks 3 here in the 9th. He's given up 2 runs to this point. So unfortunately, Pirates will have to use their 5th pitcher of the evening.
One more out to close out the top of the 9th inning, and they have to go to 2 pitchers. Veras starts, goes 2/3 of an inning. Joe Bimo coming on to try to put the top of the 9th to rest. The Cardinals having their way with 9 runs on 12 hits tonight against Pirate pitching. Clint Hurdle hoping not to have to go to another pitcher here in the 9th inning, but has to go to lefty Joe. And Jason Mott, who came in to relieve Garcia, will have a rare at bat.
His first of the season.
I wonder if he's ever had one. Takes a strike.
He is two.
He is in trouble.
Former catcher, converted 5 years ago to the pitching position. Jason Mott, who was signed in the 19th round of 03, was a catcher. One ball, 2 strikes. 3 big league at bats. Had 2 last year. Career 191 average in the minors. Doesn't need those batting gloves. Strike 3. 2 more runs for the Cardinals Head to the bottom of the ninth. 9-1 St. Louis. Clint Hurdle's post-game comments. Dan Potash and Kent DeColvey. We'll also have some comments about this game, which got ugly pretty early.
Kevin Correa having problems in the fifth inning, gave up a couple in the second, and then it got away in the fifth with a 5 spot for the Cardinals. And there's all kind of pitching or all kind of changes for the Cardinals. First of all, PJ Walters.
Tony La Russa.
Yeah.
He likes to do this. He's got. What do you got for
the
us?
Catcher goes from catcher to first base. PJ Walters comes in. So we know who's on first.
Right.
I think.
So Gerald Laird.
Yeah. Came in to hit for Molina.
Tony Cruz catches. Strike one on.
Is that Rasmussen center? Yep.
Yes, sir. Rasmus. And Walters pitches. I tell you, he does. He's different, but I do, as you said, Steve, he's a big fan of the game. And he respects the game. I don't try to make light of it. He really does. He does things differently.
But you ask him about them, and he'll give you reasons.
Yep.
You might not agree with him, but he'll have the reasons that he does things. That's it.
You know, why wouldn't you just have Cruz or Rasmus pinch hit rather than Mott bat? I don't know, but you're right. He'll have an answer.
And by the way, Jay is over from center to left.
So it's
basically 5 changes out of your 9 position players.
Here's Jay moving from center to left. 1 out. Steve Pearce. Pearce singled in the 7th. Up left side, shortstop out. It's Jay, the new left fielder. 2 down in the 9th. And it's Matt Diaz. Has 2 of the 8 hits. Garcia will go to 10-4.
And Kevin Correa is having trouble getting off that 11 mark. Dropped to 11-8.
Ball, 1 strike on Diaz. B.J. Walters looking to finish off the Pirates. Tomorrow, Kyle Loesch will try to finish off a sweep. Backhand play. Descalzo on to first. What a play. Wow. In a 9-1 game, that won't get a lot of attention. That was a fabulous play.
But that will get a lot of attention from his manager we were just talking about, number 10, Tony La Russa. Effort throughout the 27 outs. Worth another look for sure.
Chance for Diaz to have a 3-hit night. He is robbed.
That's a strong throw when you're up in the air.
Daniel Descalzo started only a handful of games at short. He, along with the rest of the Cardinals, had an outstanding night.
We need a strong Charlie Morton tomorrow afternoon.
Do we